get into some fantasy because Simone and I are going to definitely start a fantasy league. So who is your biggest sleeper in the fantasy league that you feel like no one's really, talking about, could have a big year in the league, but if you draft them, could have a explosive year for you?
The one guy I keep going back to, and I mean, I guess I'm talking about him so much, so there's at least one person, but it's Chris Herndon, the Jets' #1 tight end. And so Herndon isn't really a big name, but this dude is one of 8 tight ends since, the new millennial in 2000 to average at least 8 yards per target as a rookie. I mean, it's just a position where if you're a first-year player at tight end, you got to learn how to block, you got to learn how to run routes. We've only seen Gronk and Evan Ingram provide true high-end production, and Ingram even needed OBJ to get hurt in order for him to get there. So the fact that Herndon did anything as a rookie is really good, and that's why people were on him last year. But what happened last year? He gets suspended, he comes back, he pulls his hamstring running routes on the air. How the hell does that even happen? He plays 6 snaps all season, but there was never a situation where he was out there on the field and ineffective. He just couldn't get out there on the field. And now you're looking at him, and this is a guy that was a borderline tight end 1 last year, going in those top 12 picks at the position. Now he's going top 20, man, more closer to the tight end 2 borderline. And again, it's not based on him just having, bad on-field performances or anything like that. I think it's just people pissed off about what happened last year. And you look at, Jets camp, Charles McDonald, one of I think the best beat writers out there. And, just day after day, it's Darnold and Herndon, showing connection. Even Adam Gase, who, Gase has not been able to say a nice thing hardly about Le'Veon Bell for the last 2 years. And he comes out and, really just heaps on the praise for Chris Herndon, saying he never needs to take him off the field. He can block, he can catch, he can do everything. And then you add in the fact that all 5 of the Jets' top wide receivers have been hurt throughout training camp. And it's a situation where Herndon, it wouldn't be crazy if he actually led this team in targets, and that is so rare for tight ends. And he's going pretty much free. So, when you're in round 13, 14 of these drafts, even if you already have a tight end, just grab Herndon, because, there's a chance we're sitting here in week 2 or 3, he's in top 3 at the position in targets, and everyone's going to want the guy.
Okay.
Good
Appreciate the insight. All right.
We can't both take them.
I'm going to get him first.
So I have to ask you, quarterback. Who are you taking at your fantasy quarterback?
The 2 guys I've really zeroed in on are Joe Burrow and Cam Newton. And Burrow, it's because if you look, we've had 6 rookie quarterbacks since 2010 be a QB1 fantasy land. It's been Andrew Luck, RG3, Kyler, Dak, Russell Wilson, one more is the name who escapes me right now. But anyway, the big similarities with these guys, they all started in week 1, and they all had decent rushing floor. They averaged at least 25 rushing yards per game in college. And Burrow looks to throw. He's not Kyler or Lamar or any of these guys, but he averaged 27 rushing yards per game at LSU. I mean, the dude's got some mobility in him. So Bengals offense, AJ Green, Tyler Boyd, John Ross, my guy Auden Tate. There's a lot of weapons actually out there for a team that just finished with the worst record in football. Offensive line's not great. It's going to be a tough September for him, but I think, by the time we get into October, it's going to be a bad team. It's going to have to pass a lot, and Burrow can give you that rushing floor we're looking for. I think he has a chance to become number 7 on that, rookie quarterback list. And then for Cam Newton, this dude was going as a QB 20 for a month because everyone talked themselves into this stupid QB competition against Jarrett freaking Stidham, guys. I can't believe we're wasting our time with this. I mean, look, the issue with Cam has been, is he healthy? And right now, he's healthy. And when he's been healthy, he's been anyone's idea of a top 12 fantasy QB, usually top 5. But if we just want to take his worst season ever, he was QB 13 in fantasy points per game. So I know the weapons in New England aren't fantastic, but neither have, really any of Cam's weapons, even going back to his days at Auburn. The dude's always been, making the most out of nothing. So I'm so excited to watch Cam Newton this year. And I really think, where he's going in these drafts, I mean, he's the exact type of late round QB you want, where true QB1 upside if things break his way.
All right, and we are planning to drop our own how to draft a fantasy team 101 type thing. So what's your method of drafting a fantasy team? I know some people do wide receivers first, some people do running backs first. What's your method?
You gotta kind of let the draft come to you a little bit. But what I find myself doing is in those first 2 or 3 rounds, if I can get 2 of those top 15 running backs, I'm very happy. And I think what the cool kids are calling is modified 0 RB, which I hate that name because if it's not 0 RB, let's not call it modified. We're taking RBs. But that whole issue aside, I think, if you can start off, you get, McCaffrey or Barkley or Zeke, you get your stud at the top, and then maybe you can come back around with Josh Jacobs or James Conner or Austin Eckler, you're going to be sitting pretty, because then again, the rounds 4 and 5 and the running backs available are, your Le'Veon Bells, your Kareem Hunts, maybe, who, okay, they might work out, but, these are guys ranked in the 20s, and you can look at the wide receiver position, and because everyone's been taking these RBs, you still have top 10 people available, like, Allen Robinson, Adam Thielen, Robert Woods, players of that type. So I think, everyone's been kind of beating the drum for like robust RB early. And yeah, if it's the right RBs, that's fine. But I think the problem people are running into is, they want to get all those RBs early. So they're reaching on guys like, Melvin Gordon, David Johnson, your guy Todd Gurley. Maybe it works out for him, but you know what? There's just veteran backs on new teams. There's a lot of downside. So, at that point in the draft, give me just some stud wide receivers over them. So I would say, try to leave the first 3 rounds with 2 running backs, then load up on wide receivers. For the love of God, do not draft a kicker or defense until the last 2 rounds of the draft. I was on a podcast 2 days ago, and these people were trying to say, fill out your starting lineup first. I'm always the first one to draft a kicker. Do not be that guy or girl. Please don't. I will take it as an insult if you draft a kicker before, the second to last round of your draft. So please don't do that. And then QB tight end, I would say, if you can get your Lamar Jackson, Patrick Mahomes, that very top, or your George Kittle, your Travis Kelce, if you can get them reasonable, that's fine. Who wouldn't want them on their team? But if you can't, just wait. Don't feel like you need to reach on, some like Brady or, Hunter Henry, who, again, these guys could all do well, but, wide range of outcomes. I don't want to reach on them. There's so much talent at the bottom of those positions that, you can just take a couple of darts in the double-digit rounds. Some will probably work out, and then you're chock full of studs at RB and wide receiver.
All right, very insightful. I was under the impression that a lot of people like to go, wide receiver first, but now I know running backs like that top flight position. So I'm definitely switching on my method this year. So I'm looking to win because you and I appreciate that.
All right, man. I want us all to win.
There you go.